Hey YouTube, I plan to make this one of the shortest videos I've ever done, so I'm going to try not to waffle and just go straight into the information. On the left is me, on the right is, hopefully clearly, Su Bingqian, the fastest 60-meter split ever, 6.29. What I want to show is our form, the differences between our form. I would have put Usain Bolt instead. However, Usain Bolt's footage is really old and blurry, so I can't really use it. But if you look at me, I want us to focus on this part, just my foot traveling through. It comes through, and I land, and then it pushes, and then right here, it just flicks down. It flicks down. What we really want to zero in on is, I wish I could zoom in, but it's this foot. When does it flick down? What we want is what Subin Chan will demonstrate, which is, you see that? His foot is in front of his knee and it's also above his knee. The angle's kind of bad, so it kind of looks like they're on par. And he's not doing it the best, which is why I prefer Usain Bolt, because he does this perfectly. But you can see the difference when we go to the next frame, essentially, for me, because this will be the next frame, where he is, will be the next frame for me. My foot just drops down and my knee is above my foot. I mean, the frame he's at is his quality is worse on his side, but the amount of frames per second is much higher, so we're able to see more of the frames than for me. But for me, is 2 frames ahead of where it would be for him, I believe. I'm in that position, kind of, but you can just see the difference between where my foot is and his foot is. You can see that his foot is basically directly pointing forwards, whilst my one isn't really. And now you might be thinking, why am I even making this video? What's the point? The point is, when you sprint, you want to be able to achieve something which is firing from your hips, but you want to know for how long to fire from and where you're going to fire to. When most people sprint, they think, okay, I just need to go forwards. So subconsciously what ends up happening is you just drive your feet and your legs forwards. So you not to the same degree as me, but usually to a worse degree, you just end up moving your back leg from behind you to in front of you, which isn't very good. What we want is the foot to recover really high, and then you direct your knee to go upwards. So as you continue to drive forwards, your knee slowly starts to rise, but you want this position that I'm in to be closer together, tighter up. But the problem is, because you're not able to relax, and 2 things, you're not able to relax and you're not aware of the direction you're supposed to be putting your foot, which is up, forwards and up. So kind of just like this arrow, instead of just straight forwards, you get the effect that I have to a very degree, either this or usually worse. Whilst if you look at Su Bingqian, again, not the best person to do it for, but his foot comes through completely. This might even be in this one. His foot comes through, and this one isn't the best one, but you can see it's basically just above his knee, essentially. Not by much, but the higher you can get your foot to be above the knee, the better you're going to be. Because what essentially happens is, if you don't have this, you're tensing, which is why Su Bingqian isn't able to do this. And if you also look at Suffer Powell, he's not able to do this either. They're not able to get their calves and their hamstrings to touch for sustained periods. Obviously, they can get to touch as it comes through, like here, but you can't get to continue to touch. And the reason why is because they're tense. They're staying tense instead of relaxing, but they need to know which direction they need to push in so they know when to relax. Because they're trying to drive their foot forwards, when you try to drive your foot forwards, your leg will extend out into this position. But if you try and drive it up, your foot will still end up like this as it comes through. And there's 2 benefits to that. First of all, the elastic potential. It means you're able to relax, so your body is able to do its thing with the elastic potential, and your next step is going to be very elastic. I don't even know what the word is, but because what happens is your foot will just fling forwards, and your hamstring has to decelerate that, but it's not going to do a very good job. So it's going to fling forwards and then your body's just gonna be swinging and slinging like that essentially within, and then you touch the floor, and then you just propel off very quickly. This is one of the ways to decrease your ground contact time. If you really want to get below 0.1, this is one of the things you need to work on figuring out how to do. Obviously, you don't have to do it perfect, but there it is the way you're able to decrease it by, which is something I'm currently working on as well, being able to make it so that my foot comes through and it's still together. Because my foot is clearly, let me move everything. My foot is clearly beneath my knee in this position, which it kind of should be, but not to the degree. If I wish I could just go back one single frame, because you see there's a massive difference in the frames. But my foot is well below where it should be compared to Su Bing-chan, where that's his knee. And one frame, 2 frames, that's where his foot is. It's basically still in line with his knee, where it was before. His knee is a bit higher up now, but it's basically in line with where it was compared to me, where it's just gone. And another benefit is people always say to Q, high knees, high knees, high knees. The reason why they're saying high knees is because they want you to do what Su Bing-chan's doing, and to sort of degree what I'm doing, which is getting your foot to come completely through in front of the other foot, and then you relax it and let it drop down. You just relax it and let it come down. If you don't do that, you're going to run into problems where you're not able to relax properly, because you are relaxed probably, but you're not as relaxed as you could be. So if you can be able to fix this, so you're able to be more relaxed, you'll be able to get much more, because you're going to be able to increase your power output because you're more elastic, and you're going to be able to travel further because you're able to extend your legs for longer if you're able to do this correctly, because technically you have more air time than you normally would. If you like my content, don't forget to like and share it around. Comment any questions you might have. I'll always respond. I post at 1 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time every 2 days. So if you don't know what time that is, then just make sure you subscribe and you hit the bell, and you'll be notified every single time I post. You don't have to keep checking. Other than that, I also have a Patreon where I upload a blog post related to sprint training, gym training, and plyometrics. And I also, if you send them in, I can do sprint mechanic analysis for you and give them back to you, as well as doing one-on-one coaching towards sprint technique and helping to develop you in the gym and plyometrics. I hope to see you in my next video.